Whoa! Righto! Good day! Suppose you're here about wondering what four-wheel drive things you might need. This is gonna be a video for use about explaining what you might need when you're out on the tracks. Whether that be sand, mud, snow, dirt, mud, rocks, whatever it may be. This is gonna help you. Starting with number one on my list. Something I actually don't recommend are these Max Tracks. Now, Max Tracks are supposed to help you in the sand. I personally found they actually don't. They actually just lose traction on them, whether instead of helping you push up. So yeah, Max Tracks, I personally wouldn't spend the money on them, and just get yourself a nice recovery kit. Now you can get these from King's, anywhere. They're pretty life-saving. This is what you need rather than getting yourself Max Tracks. I've even used those Max Tracks because it's more safe just to get yourself some recovery gear. Now, this is just a King's one. It's just in a different bag because mine had an unfortunate accident. So in said King's carry bag. Now this is a separate one that you can get, but for $200 you can get yourself these two, which is, this one will be your winch extension strap, and then this one will be your tree trunk protector. You also need to make sure, no matter if you're snatching someone or winching someone, you need one of these. Blanket, definitely use one. That way, in case anything happens to that winch or that recovery strap, is that it's gonna force all that pressure downwards rather than hitting someone and going 20 miles that way. Now, snatch block, don't really need this unless you're doing a winch, but it comes with the kit as well, so it's a handy bit of thing to have. Shovel, once again, comes with the kit as well. Pretty easy to set up, just like that. Tie her down. I can dig it on those pesky sand operations. Comes in a little carry-on bag. So it's a no-brainer personally. Plus it comes with a kit, so yeah. Next up, the converse question between these shackles, the soft shackles, or your D-shackle. Safety wise, these ones are a lot more safer because they're simply, all you have to do is pull the ball out, then attach your strap, or you could even do it like that, hook it on. It's a lot more safer. These D-shackles are still really good to have, but they're just something, they are stronger, they are more resistant compared to having material made items, but just keep in mind when using them that you need to make sure that no one is in the vicinity of the area and that you're using them right. Something to keep in mind. These could be prone to sinking in mud or sand compared to having these, which will most likely just float on top. Exactly right. And then last but not least, snatch strap. Now, on this kit, it would have came with a white snatch strap. That is more than enough, because the difference between a snatch strap and, let's just say, a winch strap is that it's got all that kinetic energy built in using that material. Exactly, it's got stretch to it, so as you pull along, it's gonna help someone get out of those pesky situations. Now this one, it's very similar to a snatch strap, except this one, they call it a kinetic rope. Pretty much same principle, except instead of having that strap, you pretty much have rope on rope, so it's gonna be a lot more stronger for driving. It's gonna be a lot more lighter, more stretch, more strength, and I'm pretty sure it can actually hold more, 11,000 kilograms or 11 tons. So it's a lot more weight capacity. It's got a lot more better weight capacity compared to your kinetic straps. Yes, very good. Right, guys, so another bit of recovery tool that you might need. The Shackle on a hitch. Now, if you don't have one of these, the best thing to do is just essentially use this. Use that bar that goes across that holds this in place. You can use that, worst case scenario. But it's good to have one of these because they're actually rated for it, rather than using a piece of bar that goes across. Now, in regards to actually using one of these, 2 ways you could go about it. You could use a soft shackle with this. Just put the soft shackle here, then use whatever you need. That way, in case anything happens, it's actually gonna break the soft shackle rather than this. That way it's a bit more safer. Or you could get yourself a specific soft shackle rated recovery hitch. That way you don't have all these sharp edges which could potentially damage. If you don't have a soft shackle, you can essentially just use this, but I would personally prefer or recommend using the soft shackle that way in case anything happens. Because when these go flying, they go flying hard. Alrighto then, so next thing you might need, now don't be fooled by the King's bag, but inside here, you pretty much got yourself an air compressor. Now these things are really good to have, whether you're at the beach, rock crawling, doing whatnot, you want to make sure those tires are potentially aired down. I'm not the best person to be recommending what tire pressures for each car, as every car is different, but for me, I go between 15 to 20 psi on beach driving. That's all I can say for use, so use that at your own will. But when you go to lower your tires, you need something like one of these bad boys. It also comes with the recovery kit that I was showing you before, so once again, a handy bit of kit to have. 2 ways you can go about using it is you can click it on, screw it on, sorry, and then you can loosen the actual valve stem, and then you can use this bit right here to open and close it. Or you can do what some people might do, is you twist it on the valve stem and then you actually push onto the actual stem, and then you can let the air out. 2 ways you can go about it, whichever one you prefer, whether you want to loosen the inner stem or you just want to press and hold it. Just coming back to the real air compressor real quick, these are pretty much hook onto your battery. Make sure your car is running though. I've seen the amount of people I've seen not actually running these and they have a flat battery. It's very shocking. So make sure you have your car running while you're using this. It does come with a nice long cord too. Very nice and long. It's got this bit here so you can easily hook it on. It's got your gauge there. It does also have a place where you can lose your air as well if you overfilled it. It just hooks on the standard female clip. Yeah, very simple bit of kit, relatively cheap once again. Kings, wherever suits you. But given that this is a nice cheap way to get out on the tracks, you can definitely check out Kings. They will last a while, XTM. But I've just gone with this one because it does have a remote control This one is the Camp Boss by 04 Venture. It does have a remote. It does work every now and then. It's not the best air compressor, but it definitely pumps up the tires really good. 140, 150 liters per minute, so it's pretty nifty. Coming back to having a dead battery, something you could definitely invest in. One of these jump starters. This is a King's one, once again, $100 I paid for at the time. It's got charging cable. It does have a white cable so you can charge your phone too. Another good way to charge your phone. It's got your female, male, your negative, positive, and it's got your quick start. Here's the battery, here's the jump starter itself, very light, 100%. I haven't used this in months and it's still 100%. It's pretty good. Over here is where you would jump start your car by plugging this in there and jump starting it, making sure the lights work. It does tell you all the instructions at the back, so it's pretty good to have. It's a good way to jump start your car. It can start V8 diesel, so any of your cruisers. So if it can jump start that 5 times, it can definitely start this or cruiser, anything, just fine. So it will definitely keep you out of trouble. Next up, POSCOMs. You want POSCOMs no matter where you go, whether you're going in a convoy or you're going up a steep track and you need someone to spot you. POSCOMs is definitely a good way. Now, I got 2 examples. I got these Oricon 3-watt UHFs that I got off BCF for $50 for the pair. They work just as well, pretty much all. They're good for spotting, like up a track and you're close to each other. But for like a convoy, definitely invest in a 5-watt. This one is a GME 5-watt. It's a good way for long convoys if you don't have a UHF already in the car. It's good for transmitting quite fast signals compared to the standard 3 watts. So use that information as what you will, whether you don't invest in, use of that as what you will, whether you're thinking about just sticking with a handheld. The handhelds work fine, especially if you use the 5-watt one. But if you're using the 3-watt, it's good for like spotting, especially if you have a UHF already in the car. So, in my car, I do have this one. This is the GME XRS 370C. So it's pretty much, it's got your playback, but it's a good bit of kit to have, and it's mounted to that aerial right there. Now, personally, recommend using one of these. These are really good for long range travel and doing convoys, whether those compared to those little stubby ones. They're good for your long distances, like your hills, like all that. But these I've found works overall a lot better, and it's a good bit of kit to have. Next up, now this one is very much optional. You might want to invest in a winch. This is a TJM one. I really want to change this to a run bar, but it's pretty much a good way to self-recover yourself, especially if you have that eventually the King's one, the King's recovery kit, because it's pretty much got everything you need. Don't have to use it, and if you are using it, I can't stress it enough, make sure your car is on. Don't use it solely off your battery. You're gonna kill your battery. This takes so much watts recovering, even just using it. Alrighty, so that's pretty much my setup that I personally have for a ute. Now we might go and see the old Tommy bags. See what he's got for the old wagon. I'm gonna pass it over to Tommy. Tommy?
Oh, righto, thanks Xavier. So, as you know, bloody talk about the full drive stuff. once again, you know, you can go all out as much as you want, you know, but in reality, it's really, you really do not need much, honestly, to get out there in terms of your full drive and recovery stuff. It can be really simple, honestly, because that's the main thing. At the end of the day, you just want to get out there, enjoy some full driving, and just have fun. So once again, I'm honestly on the same page as Xavier. I've got these recovery boards here, just the old cheapies. I think these are like 75 bucks. Yeah, I've used these thousands of times, as you can see, and I didn't really actually find they helped, honestly. Whether we're using them wrong or whatever, let us know in the comments. But like the amount of times we've used these, I just haven't found that they've helped much. So, once again, I'm with Xavier. I don't really recommend it. They just take up space. In terms of recovery kit, I don't really carry much in terms of getting out there. I like, once again, to just keep it light and simple. So this one here is just the old XTM Snatch strap. Just your generic old style Snatch strap. And like, you can get those soft shackle ones like Xavier said. Definitely a lot safer, and I definitely recommend them. I honestly am looking at getting it. But this is also a bit cheaper than that, since it's older technology. And there you go. So you pretty much get just your generic Snatch strap. Still, like, this one's rated to 8 ton, this one. This is an 8 ton Snatch strap. So not the biggest one. Not as much as the kinetic strap that Dave had, but still gets the job done. The vehicles in our convoy are pretty light anyways, so you should be right. And then you get your two D shackles. It's a very nice, simple kit and very cheap and affordable to use. So that's really all I have in terms of recoveries. And yeah, so like I said, I usually keep it simple. I don't have a winch on this at the moment, so I haven't really needed a lot of stuff really for this, the air compressor. Yeah, so this is the old school thumper single motor, just like Xavier's. Xavier's is of course a Camp Boss one. This one's nice and old. Gauge is kind of not working on that one, but same sort of style. Pretty much the exact same thing. Another one, tire deflator. This is just one from King's pretty much, the old quickie. So it literally works the exact same as Xavier's does. This one, once again, old man bought the compressor and the tire deflator in a deal way back in the day when Full Drive Action used to be a magazine and Ruthie used to work for him. If you know who Ruthie is, you know what I mean. Finally, in terms of really the recovery stuff, once again, a shovel. It's nice and easy and simple to keep, packs away. Literally the exact same as Xavier's. They're all pretty much the same, wherever you go. It really just depends on who you prefer shopping with, whether it's King's, BCF, Anaconda, Kmart, Big W, wherever. Just comes down to who you prefer. The bag is new. This, once again, same bag as Xavier's compressor one, because the old bag for the compressor was seen better days. It was all holier than Jesus Christ. So, all right. Now, one thing that Xavier didn't talk about with that, tools. This one, once again, probably more on the overkill side of things, but you know, it's better to be overkill than not. So this is the 198 piece toolkit from Tool Pro. You know, it's got just about everything you need. You know, you got that little bit there with all your sockets, even more sockets down here. Only thing it probably doesn't have is screwdriver sets, but I do have a little kit behind the back seat that does have some screwdrivers and stuff with it as well, so that makes up for it. Always good to have tools. Also spare, depending on how long your trip's gonna be. Like, the local trips we do, we don't need to, but if you're doing any longer trips, you know, week or longer, I'd probably recommend taking spare parts with you, just in case, especially depending on how hard the full driving is that you're doing. So, because some of them can get pretty tough and sometimes stuff your parts just let go, so you can't really, you know, account for that, so you better off, well, you kind of can, by just bringing spare parts. And even sometimes you don't need to. Sometimes you can just get out of it with a bit of tools, bit of zip ties, duct tape. Recommend taking those as well. I do have zip ties and duct tape in the other toolkit, but that's kind of buried in there. Bit of electrical tape as well, that helps. And jump starter. Now mine's currently not in here as it's charging, because I've been using it a little bit on the Nissans, of course. But yeah, once again, this has a little white cord to charge your phone. Same style. This is just a little bit older one. This is just before they did the redesign for Saviours. I just like to keep it very simple, basic. You know, you don't need to go all out. You can if you want, but you know, for the type of stuff we do, this is more than enough, which is very casual, full driving sort of style. So yeah, there's even some stuff I could do with it, like the recovery boards. I'd honestly probably wouldn't worry about them because we usually travel in convoys anyways. It's very, very rare we do solo trips. So, but once again, if you're doing solo trips, I'd personally recommend taking a winch with you as well. So we'll head up the front there and we'll go look at comms, go talk about the comms, what stuff we'd recommend. Right, so now we're in the front now we're talking about comms. As Xavier said, I've once again also got the two Oricom 3 watters. These, we used to use these all the time, even back when I used to drive around the old man's Lux. That didn't have a UHF or anything, so I always used these. These did really well. Even when I first got this thing didn't have a UHF, so I used this. These do extremely well for your close range and close distance. But like Xavier said, if you are traveling in a convoy, I would prefer going either the 5 watt or something like this, which is your in-car UHF. Now you definitely don't have to go as fancy as this. These are a bit more on the expensive side, but they're very good and very good quality. This is the GME XRS Connect. So very nice, very simple to use actually. All your controls are on the handpiece, so you can hide away that main bit, which is the best thing I like about it, because I like keeping the inside of my car nice and clean. And yeah, very nice, got playback and all that stuff. It's very good, but once again, you don't need stuff like that. You can easily get away with just a nice cheap, once again, even like an Oricom. Oricom's very good for your budget, for the budget people who don't want to spend a lot of money. They got nice, cheap, affordable UHFs. The only thing with those ones is, once again, everything would be in the main piece, so you'd have to find a spot to put it. It's where you can see it. But once again, I would recommend definitely taking some sort of comms with you, whether you're solo or you're in a convoy. It's very good to take it. One thing that we don't have, because we don't really do long distance stuff, that I would recommend is some sort of sat phone, or even the GME, where you can press it, where whether you're in strife or something, you can press it, sends out signals so people can come find you. Or a sat phone, so when you're out of distance, you can still ring people and contact them. That's only if you're doing long distance. Once again, we don't really do that yet. We haven't really, the trips we do at the moment don't really need that stuff, but it's definitely something to look at if you're looking at doing long distance stuff. But yeah, if we come to the front, I can show you what the aerial that we use for it is. So around here, this is just your standard, what came with the UHF. This is a 6.6 dBi aerial, nice slim one. You can get the fatter ones, which I'm not entirely sure what the advantages are, but definitely would take this over your little stubby ones. The stubby ones are a lot better for your hills, so it, like, you know, rotates it around a bit more. And then of course, the longer aerial you go, the better it is for your long flat distance ones. So if you're out in the desert or something, you want a nice long one. So, but this is your perfect all-rounder. This does really good in the hills and really good on the flats as well. The old 6.6 dBi. Now, around here, as you can see, I'm not currently running a winch. That is definitely on the cards. That's just, once again, well, due to just budget constraints and also the fact I haven't really needed one yet. But another thing too is rated recovery points, something that people seem to miss. Now, down here, this does have recovery points, as you can see here, but in terms of these ones, I wouldn't necessarily say these are rated, just due to the fact that they aren't really that beefy. You can go get them. They're not too bad. They definitely are a little bit on the pricier side, but it's definitely something that's worth the money. Just so then if you do get bogged and you're with people, you got a nice secure point to snatch off them. I'm definitely looking at purchasing some. That's definitely on the cards, just not yet, once again, like the winch. But in a situation like that, especially if you have two, it's very good to just get like, even like some, you can get like just a shorter strap or something, or even like a tree trunk protector, and do like a nice little triangle off. Helps distribute the weight. So instead of pulling off of one, you're pulling off of both of them. So even if they're little, like not really rated ones like those, it still helps in that situation. One thing I guess we could talk about is the snorkel as well, just depending on what you're doing. Very good for either if you're doing deep water crossings, so you don't have to worry about stuff sloshing up into your intake. Xavier is looking at getting one too, don't worry. But yeah, this one came with it, so yeah, they're very handy to have. Also for dust, keeps your air intake right up here. You can even get socks for them that go over it to help with the dust even more. So that makes it really handy. But yeah, definitely something to look at if you're looking at dusty environments, or if you just, I reckon personally, if you have a four-wheel drive, you should look at a snorkel no matter what. Because 9 times out of 10, if you get a four-wheel drive, you're going to go in dust or even water environments, or mud even, that's deep. And it's very good insurance to have to make sure you don't flood your motor and stuff it and have to be spending thousands on a new motor or something. So bar work could also be very handy, just depending on what you're doing. Once again, long distance or like desert stuff where you're dealing with roos, very good to have a nice steel one like this, or even like Xavier's one. Very good and handy to have, nice steel bar. So then if you hit your roos, you're not damaging the front of your car or riding it off in some cases if it's a newer car. And also it's a place to house your winch as well. So you have a nice strong point for your winch. But they are very handy, and also a good spot to mount your aerial once again, so. And lights. Now I haven't gone the conventional style, I've went the light bars in here, but even like your spotlights, as you can see, or light bars or what have you, they're just, bull bars are very handy to have, even your rear bars, because you can put your spare tyre on it and stuff, because 9 times out of 10, you go a bigger tyre, it doesn't fit underneath in the factory location, so you can and put it on the back for a wagon at least. For the ute, of course, you put it on your tray, but yeah, and you can also put jerry cans on the rear bar too, depending on if it has provisions for it. So, as well is bin storage. Xavier has bin bags, they're also very useful to have as well. So then, you know, especially for ute applications, you just chuck it in the tray and sort of just take it. Because once again, you get all your grubs and stuff who just come in, leave their rubbish around and just make it a bad time. In this case, just to keep all the rubbish and stinky stuff out from inside the car, I went for the old Adventure King's PVC bin bag, which just straps on to the back of the spare. And a little cheeky thing you can do, I put a little bin in here. Now you can put a bin liner in it. I personally don't worry about it. I just wash it out when I'm done. But you can also put a bin liner in it as well. But yeah, these are as well, like you can't, like they're not only good for bin bags, you can also just use it as external storage. Like if you got wet recovery gear or even like wet clothes, if you've been swimming, you can chuck them in here. Of course, if you haven't used it as a bin before, but yeah, you can chuck them in here. This one even has its little side pockets you can put stuff in. But yeah, these are just very versatile to have, or even your bags like Xavier has. Just some way to take your rubbish out, because you don't want to be known as one of those grubs who just leaves rubbish when they leave camp, you know. Anyways, that's pretty well my sort of guide to full driving and stuff. So hope you enjoyed the video. Make sure you like, subscribe, turn the notifications on so you see more of these absolutely amazing videos coming out of the Xavier's channel. And I hope to see you in the next one. Thank you, fellas, and see you later.